Okay, I want to go over my equipment and stuff that I use real quick here. Um, so to start, I usually like to go with Heart Strike, Blood Right, and Blood Rage. The gems I have equipped increase damage, hit material duration by 19%, movement speed by 26%. This one is okay. This one's pretty good. I didn't really think too much about this one, but that's just one that I have. For Blood Rage, increase physical damage output 15%. Killing an enemy unit heals you for 1.3%, increases the effect duration by 24%. You know, I didn't really mix and match these gems that much, but that's just kind of like what I have. I also use the Veil of Chaos for the, mostly just the double dash. This was another gem I didn't really think of, but this is the one that I have. The more important ones were the Void, the spawning 3 exploding fragments was the most important one that I was looking for. And the increases damage part was the second one that I really wanted. So this one was a really good decoration. You can see all of these are just like level 4. This is on a brutal PvP server, and the odds of me farming greater shards are slim. Everyone is out there killing each other. So I'm showing you could do it with just not tier 4, tier 3 jewels. The other one was the Ball Lightning. This one was, consume static, stun damage for 0.4 seconds, increases damage per shock. Movement speed is whatever. But those two were the ones that were the most important because it was mostly just about clearing the mobs. Those are the ones that you really want to look out for. Clearing the mobs and making sure he doesn't get health was super helpful because clearing the mobs was the part that I had a hard time with. This one was another one. Mostly, I got this one with the increased damage. I didn't think too much about it. It was the other two for clearing the mobs that were most important, but I still wanted to show you all of the different jewels and stuff that I had. The other thing is the weapons. I do have slashers, but they're just like the purple ones and not the orange ones. You don't have to have the orange ones. I was just using this, and I did do it with the Dracula chest guard, but I did it without the chest guard as well. It's not impossible. The most important part is just the Amulet of Blade Master, the one that increases your attack speed and gives you that little lightning ball thing that helps increase your damage. Don't use this. This does absolutely nothing for you in there. It's the same level. The reduced blood drain rate helps you nothing. The sun resistance helps you with nothing. It's literally just to get you in the door. Bring something else with you because that's not going to cut it. Attack speed, damage, that's what you want. Anyway, that is the equipment setup I've got. So, let's get into it. All right, I'm doing a voiceover after I've already played this. So that way I could just focus on it. This was my first try after waking up, after figuring out the method. So there's a couple of mistakes in here, but don't worry about that. You can see I'm going for Blood Right, Heart Strike, and Blood Rage. That's how I like to start. For the first 2 phases, it keeps your HP up really high, so even if you make a mistake, you can get your health back. The Veil of Chaos is the only one that's not a blood. Leech based, whatever, because the mobility is just better.
The scent of a blood kin.
I'm using Rogue Blood currently because it just happened to be the only 100% one I had. But it's really helpful. Movement speed and the crit after you use your dash is super important. So every time after you dash, you want to try and hit him. So right there, his slash, you go right and then left. And if he dashes to the side, you can, to do the stab, you can sidestep it. Just like that. Right, left. This, you don't have to dash. You can use your Q for immortality. If you stand to the front left of him, he won't hit you, and you can get a lot of free hits in. And then you can use your Blood Right to counter, and then step out. You don't even need to use your dash. Sidestep. Right, left. I activate my Blood Rage when I notice he's doing it, so I can get some extra hits in. Here, you can actually kill these bats with your counter, and sometimes they'll drop a health orb. dash is to save your dash, by the way, for that phase. Don't use it.
Kneel to my
And Q to dodge that. Right, left. Sidestep. Keep swinging.
There is no
This you can just back up from. When he does that, he turns into wolf form. It's a wide swipe, so counter, blood rage, and just keep attacking.
You are a shadow.
The first phase it actually gets pretty easy when you know which ones you can like sidestep. Second phase is when it gets a little bit more difficult. This is why attack speed is important though, because I tried doing this with the blood amulet all day and I got nowhere. That one you can sidestep still. I countered that just to get in. This I just stand behind him. It's the safest spot. Dash through those, counter them, or use your Q. The crystals, you want to try and destroy them as soon as possible. They start to stack up and it becomes a difficult problem. This phase, you just, if you walk back and forth for the most part, you can usually dodge them. I'm having a hard time here, but you can use your counter, give yourself mortality frames, you can use your dash. But yeah, I'm just trying to get my hits in on him, but also I tried to use the immortality to get in there. I was a little late. Don't stress if you get hit. It's not a big deal. You have blood rage, you have spells to get you up. I use the Q to dodge that stuff. Using the counter to give yourself immortality frames is big. Those, if you stand away far enough away, you can sometimes see. Oh, here you can see they drop health orbs. Pretty handy. There I showed that you can, after he pops up, if you use your dash accidentally, you can still use your Q to dodge it. The angle on my camera was bad there, so I took hits, but that is still right, left, right, left. Oh. Notice how I use my counter for immortality frames, or I use my Q.
Ground weeps sanguine tears.
Like I said, not a super huge deal if you get hit. You can get your health back right, left, right, left. If you're close enough to him, it's easier. If you're not close, just keep your distance and try and dodge in between. He comes down from the sky, and you can either counter it, you can use your Q, or you can dash. Keep swiping. He usually likes to do that attack right after he does the bad thing, so you can just kind of like stand behind him. I tried to counter, I messed up. Like I said, you know, you don't have to be perfect. I used my ult here, and I really shouldn't have. He was low enough, I just could have killed him. Because it's probably better you have the ult for the next phase, but it's not mandatory. Switch to the skeletons for your ult, the void ball, and the ball lightning. The skeletons are good because once he starts to summon a lot, you can summon the skeletons, and they'll help you clear out the mob. The mob is super important to clear out. This part's a pain in the ass. Now is the point where you're just basically like spamming your skills. I messed up my void ball there. I should have put it behind him. I try not to use the feed thing too much. I try to just group them up and use my skills. You just want to try and line stuff up. And you always just want to focus on the ones that are getting close, not necessarily which one's lowest. You know, this isn't perfect, but I'm just trying to, you know, I'm trying to dash, use my skills. I'm trying to, like, use my spells off the cooldown. I'm trying to do everything to just, like, spam the skills as much as possible. And this is where, if I had my ult, I would have saved myself a whole lot of trouble. But it's okay. Like I said, you don't have to be perfect. This wasn't my best run. Dash, attack, just keep repeatedly spamming your skills, hitting them as much as you can. Every time the spell's off cooldown, hit them again. Extract the blood, immediately change your skills to Ice Block for the ult, Frost Barrier for your first counter, and Blood Right again for your second.
Can my own powers betray me?
And just keep spamming. The hardest part about this is just keeping in mind and rotating your camera to see where these things are coming from. And then more importantly, you want to dodge the things on the ground more than you want to go for damage. The sword's coming down and will, you know, cover most of the area around him, and it's not worth getting hit even once. The second thing is you really have to pay attention when it says free cast. When it says free cast, like, you know, you have to be able to just constantly cycle through your different counters to survive. There I get hit again. Not the worst thing in the world.
Witness the might of the true immortal king.
And you want to try and, of course, like time your dashes in between the pulses as well. The Blood Right is also great because of the fact that you can do those immortality frames to walk closer. Here I ice block close to him just because I had it. It gives me more time for spells to come off cooldown.
I am the master of blood and shadow.
Use my counter, get closer, dash, get closer, dash through the pulse again, pulse through that. And basically, if you do take a hit, you know, you get a lot of health back from using your dash. So don't be afraid to use that as like your next cast when you know you took a little bit of damage. So that way you don't get too low and you can still regain some of your health. So like right here, it gets a little bit more difficult, but you see, I'm just trying to focus on the circles on the ground. Like I'm sort of just swinging wildly in the general direction while paying attention to the circles on the ground. That's where the immortality comes in handy. I'm not gonna lie, it saved my ass right there. I only have my shield, so it's just a matter of just, at this point, it's just, you just got to cycle through your cooldowns, your abilities. I don't use my weapon skills. I just focus on the immortalities, the dashes. There he was low, so I used one last Q to finish him off. But that's pretty much it. Like, you know, use your Q for immortality frames. A lot of his abilities you can just sidestep. And that's super important because you want to save your counters and your abilities for when you really need them. And the lightning accessory is huge for fighting and killing him. I tried with the blood amulet for the entire day. I couldn't do it. I switched to the attack speed one, and I finished it first try. Like, I cannot emphasize it enough that once you go in there, switch to a better accessory because the blood amulet will not cut it. It will make your life so much more difficult. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. Like, you know, it wasn't too bad in the end.